I believe Andromeda is like one of the most groundbreaking strategies that we've ever talked about here. The 15 years I've been doing this, like Andromeda is like a game changer. I mean, I can't think of anything else that matches it at this point. I remember when Power Editor like came on.
Oh my God, I forgot about Power Editor.
Like I remember like the pixel like disappeared. Remember when the pixel was going away, inside Facebook before it was Meta? Now we've got the Andromeda strategy, and now people are starting to pay attention a little bit more. This is a huge problem. This brings me back to the discovery call I was on this week, where the gentleman was asking this question. It's like, what would you optimize for? What event? I'm like, I don't know, probably booked appointments in most cases because it was a service-based business in the healthcare industry. But I'm not really sure because until we actually get the data, it could be a step before that. It could be a step after that. It's like, what's the precursor to them actually making the sale or becoming a patient in their particular case? If you know that, then you can optimize for it. And then you figure out a way to do CAPI imports with edge tag and then optimize even better for it. And obviously use content diversification as a huge part to the top of funnel.
Yep, and that's kind of what we're doing here is we have ad spend inside of Google, and then we look at this. We don't even look at Google anymore for the results because we like this is our lead flow per day. It seems pretty average. And, it kind of ebbs and flows as everything. Sure. And then, we have 60 leads yesterday. We have so far 15 today. The leads that already have converted, we have 277 that have booked with a designer. We already have closed 46 deals. We made $1 million. We've spent 180 grand this month. So far, so good. Like everything is looking really good. This is all this month so far, like yesterday's lead. So everything is like lead flow coming in. Yep. Are they going to a designer? Yep. Are they buying? Yep. Keep going. What are we tracking? We're actually tracking this here. Booked call with a designer. That is
not leads. Lead report and book call with a designer, two different conversion events. Correct me if I'm wrong, or they're the same?
Yeah, so it goes like this. Someone comes to the website and builds their own outdoor custom kitchen. Yep. And they say, it says it's going to be 19 grand. Would you like to talk to a designer? They say, yeah, sure. And it goes here. And then the designer says, it's going to look like this. We're going to do this. It's going to take this long. And this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Would you like to buy it? Yes. Okay, let's count it. And then go ahead and put your down payment. So it goes.
And of the booked call with designers, what's the show rate on that?
Show rate's like 90%. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a really good indication because sometimes I'm like, well, what's your show rate? Oh, my show rate's 25%. I'm like, well, that changes things. So the fact that you're at 90%, they're well along in the cycle. And I know this one really well. The point is like, if they're booking a call, they're this close to the sale, then it's up to your sales team to close the deal.
Yeah, but even before they turn themselves into lead, this is the only path that they can go through. Literally, and you can't even do this from your phone. We're building this out for your phone, but you have to like U-shaped. Yes. It's like, okay, now go to your island size, appliance layout, appliances, 3D view. Like you're building like every single thing here. And then, you're doing the sides. it takes you 15 minutes just to build your kitchen. As soon as your 15 minutes is up, it says, hey, do you want to talk to a designer? You're not going to be like, no, I just wasted all that time for nothing. So we made it arduous, but it worked very well.
When we bought our first Tesla, we did the same way.
Exactly. You invested so much time in something you're excited about. We're just like, oh, and now swipe your credit card here. You're like, well, okay, I guess I'm going to do that now.
Do I want the I remember it was like, do you want the radioactive nuclear weapon filtration system for $5,000? Me and Jen were just like, should we get it? Should we not get it? For like $5,000, not like $49.72 or something like that. $5,000.
The flat $5K. Yeah, no tax included. Yep. Yeah.
And so anyway, by the time we built it, we're like, we're going to buy this thing. And we did. And it's sitting in my driveway. So
that's exactly right. So what's funny is for months, these poor people have basically just been confused by the metadata because the metadata was counting things that weren't real. So now that we have it real, we're retraining it, retraining the algorithm. So this campaign that we ran, remember the campaigns we ran back in June and July? When we started running these campaigns here, which I thought was really interesting, when we started running these campaigns here, this is in September, in Northbeam, we saw the people that were clicking in June and July converting as new customers now in September.
Yeah.
So July, August, September. So we ended in July. We paused that campaign, tried the old way, failed again because people like to believe in-app metrics. So if you launch something new and it looks scary, they're like, let me go back to my safety. So they wanted to kind of go back to like the low CPA. That one actually did worse. So we said, okay, let's try John's way again. So we're back to mine. When we went back to mine, clicks that were happening 45 days ago are converting in the new campaign. The new campaign will engage warm traffic. They're still in the sales cycles. They're still thinking about it. So we said, okay, this thing is just going to completely die off and fail if it's going to take way too long. It's like, did anybody convert in day 1? Yes, but a few. What about 7? A little bit more in day 28. Well, they're starting to, and then we just basically say, okay, and that's where it ends. So we're trying to teach a algorithm, but wait, just wait. Like, come on, they'll happen. Don't worry. And please don't change targeting, but just keep going. So how do we keep the targeting focused? How do we keep a steady stream of instantaneous first click feedback to say, don't worry, you're still on the right track? Well, we have to make that a conversion because that's the only thing you can pat itself on the back for. And confirmation that it's working is the results, like this section here. So we started to optimize. We launched a new campaign and we scaled it up, not too much. We basically went, let's see, it was basically right around this time period here before we scaled. Yep. So we spent like 75 grand and then we scaled it up to 100. And this is over the course of about about 6 weeks. So we ran this one campaign for the first 30 weeks. So we started to see, okay, after 3 weeks, like we have like 6 new customers. Like, this is painful. Like, wow, we have 1,200 checkouts, only 6 people converted. Like, we have spent $75,000 for 6 new customers. Now, whoops, the 75 grand of 6 new customers. Yeah, you're looking like 75,000 divided by 6. You're like, great. So our AOV is 3 grand and we're paying 12,000 for each one of these. Now, it hasn't been a full 30 days yet. So let's hang tight.
Give it time.
So, exactly.
This is where you're like, don't worry.
But
I know what I'm doing.
There's more.
But wait, there's more.
Exactly right. So what was interesting though is I had a backup plan that I haven't shared with you all yet. So I'll go there in a minute. But when we then look at the next round, so we have 1,200 click-through checkouts, 6 purchases. Now we have 3,000 click-through checkouts, 129 new customers. Like that went from 6 to 129 pretty quickly. Now, it still thinks we have 241 new customers or 241 customers, just like we had 240 customers last week. You can see how that metric didn't move because it actually counts our HubSpot basically subscribers. They're just the same. It's so bad. Meta was just finding anybody converting on anything ever. And so it went from 240 to like 241. So you can imagine how bad that spend is disconnected. Typically, it'd be like, John, we increased by $22,000. We got one more new customer. Like, what, or one new total customer? What happened? That was disconnected. That has no bearing on our spend. That metric shouldn't even be there. That customer, that was an import from HubSpot, but HubSpot is a really crappy source of attribution. It's a CRM tool. It's not an attribution tool. So when we saw this, we said, okay, now that we know that we're going through 1,200 to 6, and then now we have 3,000 and 129. That is fantastic. Now let's take a look at the top line. And this is something that you've seen me check before, but this has been the last 4 weeks of year-over-year performance. So if I do a before and after 4 compared to 4, let's see, there we go. This is the last 8 weeks, basically, these 8 weeks here. Yeah. So if I look at the average of the 2025 totals, last 4 weeks, we have 92 compared to last year, we had 76. So 92 to 76. So basically that's a 92,000 minus 76,000. So there's a 16,000 delta there. This is also new customer only. Right. So this one here is 104, where last year we had 105. So you see how we're going into a slower season. That's why we're expecting to pull back, and we were expecting a nice, a dip down. You can see how it goes from 75, 80 down to 67, 64, 80. Like it kind of slumps off, and we were actually kind of holding tight around 90, which is good. Right. So we're starting to see our average was year over year, they were flat with the other campaign, just scaling. Nothing happened. This time, the next 4 weeks, which is this last, 3.5 weeks compared to the previous period that we're looking at, this is 21% year over year growth. So when I said, when I look at this and say, hey, we only have 6 new checkouts, I'm like, it was okay. The first week that we ran this, we saw that we are 28% up year over year. And this is only new customer data here. This isn't all customers, just new. So what's nice is this is actually starting to work top line. So I said hold tight. But I think what's nice about this, what's actually happening is because we kept the audience in check, because we kept feeding back that it is just hitting thousands of conversions a week. That thing was like, perfect. I'm just going to go harder after all these people. And we started to see our ads perform super well to the point where this is actually kind of getting a little bit ridiculous. Now, even yesterday, we're starting to see even higher engagement. We've been doing our iterations. We've been every single week, we make 2 or 3 new versions of the winners.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at our clicks, if we look at our click-through rate, and then we look at our CPC, when these all start to perform better, we can see our clicks are now going up by 100% for the same cost. There we go. So our cost is 1% down. Our clicks are 106% up. Our click-through rate is 123% better. Our cost per click is 52% cheaper. And this is across all of our ads. Like, it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. So this thing is now working well. One thing that actually has changed is we added a second cloned campaign that are only going after new customers. So he said, because we have a new campaign, anytime that we add something, it's going to re-engage warm audiences. We know that. Each time you add a new ad meta, re-engage warm audiences.
And I see you're optimizing for that AOS new customer event, which is interesting. So go ahead.
So this one's an AOS click-through checkout. This is an AOS new customer. So 2 different events, same ads, same audience. So this one says, hey, I'm going to bring you to checkout. This one says, I'm going to pick you up and bring you to close. And now the closes are coming in at really like inexpensive, which is good. So if we look at, I think it was like these 3 days compared to these 3 days. Yeah, that we have.
You're now optimizing for the event that you really actually want.
The conversions, right? And we have a
downstream by a few days, or actually there's a longer, when checkout happens and then the sales cycle actually occurs. It
could be another 20 days.
20 days or so, right?
Yeah, it could be done in 5 to 20 days. I mean, we're seeing them a little bit faster than that, which is good. But this one, we started 1,200, went up to 1,800. So this is 45% increase. We kept this the same. Well, not the same. We reduced spend a little bit to reallocate into there. It just started to spend a little bit slower than the reallocation. But we still have, same amount of checkouts, or same amount of cost per checkout. So we didn't lose any efficiency. We just lost volume, which is beautiful. So if we spent 28% less, we have the same amount. We weren't overspent. This is showing us that we weren't overspent at all. We were just, you're raising and lowering your results perfectly. This one here is now starting to bring in more new customers. And this one is now going from like 3 new customers. We have 3, and then this one has 63. Now this one has 5, and then this one has 33. So it's starting to transition them into here a little bit more, which is what we want. So we're going to run this model a bit more, and we're going to keep increasing our ad spend. Our hope is to actually start to pull more out of there and into here, where these are running at about a 60-40 split, and then scaling them up so that we have a nice big batch of fresh, cold traffic that is warming up, and then another campaign that is getting to convert. And then because they are going to be optimizing off of the conversions that are happening, but we're still going to keep a lot higher amount of clicks of new traffic coming in, and then the conversion rate of that traffic we expect. So it's almost like first click, second click kind of thing. Not first and second click, but like first, converted, then second converted. Because once this conversion happens, it crosses the finish line. It's like, should be fairly done with them. Like, I got the conversion. Yes, I can remarket to them, which we want it to, because as it remarkets to them, like it re-engages warm traffic. We know it already does that. It's continuing them on their journey to purchase, where the other one's trying to pick them up and engage those people again. Same creative, same audience. Remember, the creative targeting means that this here is going to go after Ralph. Say, hey, we need you to be interested in our product. You're like, okay, I'm going to add something to the cart. You're like, all right, cool. And then the same creative is going to, in the other campaign, is going to say, hey, Ralph, we need you to buy. And then this one's going to say, hey, remember, like you did convert, we want you to convert again because we want to go after warm traffic. So now we got 2 campaigns going after you once you start to convert. So it's kind of cool stuff of how we're moving this in. It's speculative. We're using this as can we get this to be achieved where we have a high amount of spend, high amount of conversions, but it is re-engaging them, but they're only 3/4 of the way through the funnel, that we have one that's just optimizing for pure just sales. Yeah. Kind of like a mini funnel, but it is retraining the algorithm to not just go after the 1,200 one-day view engage conversions that I swear if everyone watching this right now goes and looks at their compare attribution models, I guarantee you about half of you out there are going to have more one-day view than you have 28-day click, and that's not a physical possibility. I
mean, none of this would be possible without creative diversification, first off, Andromeda, Cappy imports, and smart media buying, which is exactly the reason why we are previewing a special, which for tier 11 ad lab customers, listeners, watchers only, this is for you. November 1st, this launches. You can get the creative diversification pack and get the media buying in the tier 11 data suite for free. So you buy one, you get 2 things for free. We're crazy. We're going to offer this through the end of the year, John, because we realize that everybody now in Meta needs at least 30 creatives, and we need smart media buying that goes along with it. Says, hey, I need more of that stuff, and I also need great data. I need CAPI imports with Edge Tag, which is exactly what Tier 11 Data Suite does. So this is an offer for you guys listening and watching, and grab it right now, because we're only going to do about 10 of these. We might do 11 through the end of the year. However, tier11.com/apply, book a call with our sales executive. We can talk through this, but get one, buy one, get 2 free. It's like the deal of the century here. And it's only because we've got partnerships with all of those individual MarTech platforms, so we can do this for you, the Tier 11 live listener and or watcher. So John Moran, thank you so much for laying the groundwork for what I believe is like one of the most groundbreaking strategies that we've ever talked about here. The 15 years I've been doing this, like Andromeda is like a game changer. I mean, I can't think of anything else that matches it at this point. I remember when, Power Editor like came on.
Oh my God, I forgot about Power Editor.
Like I remember like the Pixel like disappeared. Remember when the Pixel was going away, inside Facebook before it was Meta? Now we've got the Andromeda strategy, and now people are starting to pay attention a little bit more, and you can see it in the videos that we've done in the last couple of months, and this is the reason why we're doing this special. So buy one, get 2 free, tier11.com/apply. Let's get over to questions, shall we? Unless you have anything more to add.
No, let's do questions. All I would say is that that creative, actually I will just take 2 seconds to add it, because it's so important to see the creative. And I think we've gone through, let me know if we've gone through this before, where we started with the Reese video and then we duplicated Robino. Did we go through that yet?
I don't think we did, not in this one. No, I'd love to see it actually. So this is creative diversification in action. Yeah,
well, this is actually was that, but it's also optimizations based on what is working. So what's funny about this? Yep. And here's what's crazy is like this is the amount spent. We did it for a week. It worked well because we have a high amount spent and we have a high click-through conversion. What's cool is when we iterated the content, that UGC Reese video turned into our UGC Robino 1. And there we stopped it on, not stopped it, but we reduced ad spend on the 29th. And then we went to the Robino 1 that the next day on the 30th. We ran that for a week. And then you'll see we stopped spend. And then we went to Robino 2 the following week afterwards. And there's the results there. So between the Robino 1, Robino 2, and Reese, that was all of our conversions from like the last, it was 50% of all of our ad spend. But here's what I thought was super, super interesting. And this is the beauty I think that Meta has, is the creative diversification and optimization is so much more powerful than people think. I can't even calculate this mathematically because it is too hard to do in my brain. I have to do it like one by one, so I'll need a few hours. But watch this. Amount spent, $1,000 a day-ish, right? $1,000 a day, and then it goes down to $71 a day. Our leads went from, our click-through checkout went from 44 and then down to like $18 here. So what's funny about this is the amount of the cost that we're spending and the reduction was almost offset by, let me do this. Here's the results. The results here, like we're going down to such small spend. And yes, we did take a leg down from 17 down to like 4 or 5, but we reduced our spend by like 90%, but we lost only like 75% of our conversions. While we lost 75% of our conversions, though, we already had another ad, this one here, picking up those click-through checkouts with high amount of ad spend. And then once that spend here went down from basically $2,500 a day down to like $600, our click-through checkouts, they did reduce, but we were still getting like 38 and 33 and 16 and 23. You can see the people kind of like decaying as a sales cycle already. And so it's like, get a whole bunch of people. Yes, blast them for 7 days. Cool. Let's move on. Now, what is the lag? We'll stop spending. Okay, so once we stop spending, our CPA is going to drastically drop, but the lead flow is going to slowly decline. So the second half, the second week out of the 2-week sales cycle is super cheap because it's almost like high CPA, high clicks, high amount of activity. And then we move on to something else. And now all of a sudden it's like cheap CPCs, cheap CPA, still high amount of clicks. And now they're just 1 + 1 = 3. Well, all of a sudden we stop spending on those people, but they don't just stop converting because they're still in the sales cycle. They take a little while to die off. So each time we iterate, it's almost like 1 + 1 = 3. 3 + 3 = not 6, but 9, like it compounds. So it's actually really cool.
That is very, very cool. I mean, I think this is I also love, like, there is a data point inside Ads Manager, and obviously we'll get to questions here because we've got some that are backing up. There's also a creative banner blindness. Like, we went through this on perpetual traffic this past week. So like, there is a dashboard inside Ads Manager, which you could probably show on your screen, which actually shows which creatives are getting tired.
Yeah,
So,
that went away.
Oh, it went away. We showed it this week. Oh,
I know, we showed it this week. We have it this week. Remember, it was actually in Get Me Lobster. Remember that one ad?
Yeah.
Yeah, it went away. Let me see if it's back. I don't think so, but watch this. I go into here, go into the ad. It's only at the ad set level.
Yeah.
Please be here. Nope.
It doesn't tell you which one. Right. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was at the ad set level because remember, ads don't fatigue. The ad set does.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to create your concepts and all of your iterations to see what has a high resignation with the audience. Mm-hmm. But it's not that like they love this ad, they hate that ad. I mean, think about it. It's like, I have lobster. Would you like to buy it today? Versus I have lobster and it comes from the ocean. Be like, I hate lobster. Now I love lobster. No, You're testing kind of everything in the audience. And so, that's how that works. So you can never fatigue an ad. You can fatigue an audience, but you can never fatigue an ad. Ads don't fatigue.
But creative diversification is about diverse ads, not just like iterations of the same ad. It has to be at least, according to Meta, 70 to 80% different than the current ad in one way, shape, or form. They've given examples through their creative diversification decks that they've shown, as well as the conference that I was at, the one that you were at. So you've got to make it different enough, featuring different parts of the product, different benefits, different features. Us versus them, obviously, UGC, founder story, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly this here. Yeah, I mean, I've created an SOP in the framework. This is my SOP, that everything that I've tested. So it's basically stuff that, we have a few people in here, buffaloes and that kind of stuff. But this is also like being circulated through internally in tier 11. So this is kind of like what we've been putting together as an SOP in order to do standard operating procedure of creative testing on Meta and also paid media channels, because it has to be congruent across your TikTok, your Google, which is like a performance max, your demand gen, your Instagram, your Facebook. Like, if you're going to come out with a message, you come out to it with everybody. You don't test messages on Facebook and vastly different concepts on Google. That means two different companies. Right. So you want to have congruency, but to do that in an omni-channel environment with MMM pushing to see what's cold versus warm versus acquisition to model that, you can't change the narrative while they're going through the sales cycle. Imagine like building your whole outdoor kitchen, be like, great, now would you like to hop in the Uber and go fly to Paris? You're like, what? What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I'm selling to timeshare now.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Well, you like being outdoors, so we're going to sell you a timeshare so you can spend more time outdoors.
Yeah, you like outdoors. I have a horse for sale. That's right. What were you here for? An outdoor kitchen?
Oh my God.